Hi viewers! Alright, so we're still here with sports medicine physician Dr. Anita Suryani on our See the Story segment. Alright, let's continue. Look at your face. You're like, are we going to talk about dry needling again?
Because I know how painful the dry needling is, so I also know how fast that method could actually brings you back on your feet, and you can actually
go back and work out again.
Come back stronger.
Yeah, come back stronger. And also, this will tell you how injuries cannot be taken lightly, and also it's actually a science behind it. So you do not handle it on your own.
Exactly. So, can you tell us the most common injuries, common sports injuries based on type of sport?
Okay. So each type of sport will have different type of injuries.
Yeah.
Okay,
right?
let's say the most common sports that has been done by public audience. Let's say running or sit-ups, push-ups, things like that.
Running, of course, is all in the leg, right? Because you use leg more than it. And also the core.
Yeah.
So it's knee, ankle. So basically, knee, ankle, back, and shoulders for the sports with the hands.
Yeah.
So I was doing I was doing the thesis on national volleyball team. So it's the real data. It's a four most common injuries: knee, ankle, back, and shoulders.
Oh.
Okay. So it's volley because volley use all right. Your hand and also like from the swimming. So of course,
shoulder,
your hand, right? Running and cycling consists of the knee, the back. So you have rowing is all the back. More than 50% rowers should have problem in the back because they will just use that 4 or 5 hours a day to use the core. So you have to really have a good core muscle.
How about tennis? Because right now everybody seems
tennis. Tennis can also. And shoulder. And also tennis elbow. Tennis elbow is the elbow of tennis at the outside part. And then of course, ankle and knee. They sometimes have that. So basically, it's just that in the arthritis in the
joint.
In the joint. Okay. So, but sometimes it's also in the muscle. Like runners have a shin splint. Shin splint. So it's so often, and don't forget cyclists can also have the neck pain.
Why?
Because
especially the cyclists.
True.
So you have to really understand about the biomechanics of the sports movement. That's branch sports movement. What you use more, what needs to be enhance the performance, the strengthen, so you can predict what's the injuries.
I see.
You know, I get neck pain just looking at my phone for so long. Right?
That's it.
Right?
You know, when you see the phone, your neck muscle should be really strong because when you have done right posture, it can have 27 kilograms for its weight. Because yes. Because you don't
just
have
looking at the phone.
Yeah, you're not in the midline. You use like this, so your neck muscle have to weight your burden of your head.
True.
So you really need someone who works in an office, gadget all the time. Really needs to strengthen the neck muscle.
Okay. So, doctor, we might not have access like every single day or in an instant to a specialist like you.
Yes.
So, what can we do as a first aid if we have any, let's say, spasm or cramps?
Basically, you have to know that our body can solve itself for 3 days. Like domes.
Domes.
After you exercise, of course, you have aches, some soreness in your body. You can wait 3 days for the recovery. But after 3 days, if it's not recovered himself, you have to help him. You have to service not only motorcycle and cars, your
body
muscle,
too.
your body also
as well.
needs to be serviced. It needs to be helped. So when you have the cramps, so it needs to be stretch, massage, and hit.
Okay. Cramps.
So can we?
You practice. Can we
practice?
Yani.
Okay.
Can you be?
What do I do?
So let's pretend the gastrocnemius, the calf muscle. I think everybody have once experienced spasm.
Let alone for ladies, you are wearing high heels.
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's because of the overtraining, high heels need a high working of the calf muscle.
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes it's because of the cold, in an air conditioner room in the night, or dehydration.
Oh, dehydration too.
Dehydration,
too.
and also lack of electrolyte.
Oh.
Yeah, because you're sweating a lot.
Okay, so what can we do with this?
Oh, sorry. So if you have the,
Will they be able to see or?
can you see?
Okay,
So,
or
so maybe you can just go here.
All right.
Nah.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's basically better in laying down position, but it's okay. If it's this the cramping muscle of calf, so first you have to stretch that. It's really painful, but if you can stretch that by standing up, right? Sometimes
Okay.
you need to standing up
Yeah.
by really doing this.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So this muscle needs to be stretched.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So if you can do that, someone can help you.
Okay.
So you can sit down, but then it's just laying down position. Sorry. So if you do this, you can press this one.
Okay.
Okay. You can press this
yeah.
one. If it's not enough, you can use this one. If it's sometimes it's so heavy, the
Yes.
athlete's
Yes.
calf is so heavy, so you can use your
Shoulder.
shoulder to help your body, and then you do this. You do this massage to the heart.
Oh,
Yeah.
move.
Okay. You can use this one, so you can reach the trigger point in the calf muscle, inside the calf muscle.
Okay.
Okay. By helping this, you can apply the heat, like the cream or something.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So, heat, massage, and stretching. That's
Okay. So the hot cream would do the magic.
hot cream for the cramp.
Oh, that's for
For
the
the tight
cramp.
muscle.
Let's say for strain muscle.
Strain muscle. Yeah. So strain muscle basically the knee sometimes. Yeah. So you have to have eyes. The eyes should be like a small one, so it can reach all the surface
Okay.
of the injured one if the
Yeah.
strain muscle. So you use the eyes. You cover it with a thin towel.
Okay.
Yeah, so don't make the eyes straightly go to your skin because it can be frostbite.
Yeah.
So you cover it, and then you put that in the strained muscle.
Yeah.
Okay, strained muscle, and then you compress it with the elastic bandage, or maybe if you can't find it, you have your plastic wrap.
Yeah.
You may have to almost in the
Yes.
In the
sometimes
kitchen
often
will
see
have
them.
it.
Yeah, the kitchen. Yeah, you can see that with the plastic wrap,
Yeah.
and then you elevate with everything. You can use your pillow, so it can be upper than your heart position.
Okay.
So that's rest, ice, compression, and elevation.
Okay, so now we know all of this, and now we know that there's a science behind it.
Yes.
Let's say we have been experiencing this kind of injuries for quite a long time, and just found you on the television only now. But let's say some people might have a long-term untreated sport injuries. What are the consequences, the possible consequences?
That's usual cases.
Usual cases.
Usual cases.
Okay.
Because there's still a mythos in sports
Yeah.
that the more painful, the stronger you are.
No.
Right?
That is not.
Nah, that's
That is not true.
Do you
Sorry.
believe in that too?
No.
Sorry, it even can happen to the national athletes.
Really?
And even can to the coach. Okay? So the right principle is pain-free and injury-free. You have to
Pain-free,
train
injury-free.
with no pain and no injuries.
So, is it, what are the consequences?
Okay, so at first I come into a national rowing team. There are some athletes have already that injury like 5 years, 15 years.
Wow.
No, I already have this back pain since my first spawn was like 10 years ago.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah, because sometimes you don't know how to treat it.
Yeah.
If you want, okay? You cannot reach that. Now, of course, the worst one is you cannot continue your career as an athlete.
Yes.
That's the worst one for sure. So the injury will affect your biomechanics of the muscle that working in your sports. That's injury that will have the compensation of the other muscle replacing the work of that muscle. Yeah. So it will be overwork in some way. It can be, or it's the injury if you force the muscle to work.
Yeah.
It will be overtraining. The strain can be severe, more severe, so it can lead to the more severe injury that maybe needs operation. that maybe can really stop you from moving, that even can retract you for that kind of activity that you like, that kind of sports that you like.
So like you said, if you're injured, you leave it for 3 days. If it's still painful, then
Go for help.
Yeah, that's the cue for you to go see a doctor.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't leave it untreated.
Do
Yes.
not leave it untreated.
That's it.
Okay, now we want to know, how does sports medicine support Indonesian athletes to perform their best at international competitions?
Okay, so I think sports medicine and national achievement can't be separated. Okay, so by sports medicine, because we keep on doing the research, that maybe before you can do the stretching before strength
Working out.
training,
Yeah.
before playing.
Yeah.
You know what? The latest study shows that the stretching reduce your strength.
True.
So no stretching.
No
No
stretching.
stretching.
So
So
no flexibility. It can be
No.
after the game.
Yeah.
Wait, so what's your warm-up then?
Warm up is just like your movement.
Yeah, moving.
Moving to make
Dynamic,
your
dynamic
yes, dynamic warm up,
Okay.
to make your temperature of your body higher, right?
Okay.
So it doesn't have to be stretching. Okay. And then the recovery after the gym
Yeah.
is 48 hours. So when you do the gym,
Yes.
you break your muscle, right?
Yes.
So it has to be hypertrophy. It has to be a recovery first. So
Yes.
it can be more muscle build, right? When you do the gym the next day in that recovery, you make it destroy the game. So the result won't be that good. So
Okay.
from sports medicine, if
Yeah.
you gym like 3 times a week, it's get better result than 5 times a week.
True.
Yeah.
For the same muscle.
But
Yes.
these athletes, I mean national athletes, they have to work out like almost every day. So
Yes.
how do you?
That's we always including the sports medicine into the national program, national team program. So you have to know that we sometimes also get comparison with the other country. Like my volleyball athletes, one day go to Japan
Oh,
because they
right.
recruited, right?
Yeah.
And he said like, no, here I'm not too, I don't have too heavy gym session like in
Yeah.
Indonesia national team, but I feel my muscle become bigger, more than Indonesia.
Yeah.
So you know, like the national team really needed sports medicine to make the performance of national athletes becomes higher and higher.
True. And I think you don't have to work hard, but you have to work smart. Also applies to sports.
Yes, because remember, sports is exercise.
True.
Yes.
True.
Yeah. Exercise is medicine. You have to have the recipe, the perfect recipe. Also for athletes, although athletes is not built to become the healthy one, it's become the super one, superhumans, but it also have the limit.
Wow.
We have to guard the limit.
So I hope this conversation today with Dr. Anita would actually open your eyes about how the science in sports could actually help you to excel in any sport that you do. And it is actually only right for Dr. Anita to come to the studio because we have plenty of sports enthusiasts here
Yes,
in the studio.
Yes.
We have the wife of national basketball player. And also we have we have tennis coach.
Yeah,
we have
we do.
basketball players here in the studio as well. And it doesn't only apply to us, but also it applies to you wherever you are. Do not take it into your own hand if you do not know the science behind it. Dr. Anita, thank you so much.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome, my pleasure.
Thank you for
My
coming back.
Yes.
Now, this time in the afternoon.
Yes.
So we expect to see you even more.
Yes.
And also to help us with all the science.
Please.
And see, the stories will continue after the break. Stay tuned. Do not go anywhere.